Did Sebastian help you with some quote unquote business dealings in the past?
Um, yes, with forming a faction called No Remorse. I'm best to my knowledge, yes. He did help me with a faction, creating a faction.
Interesting. Interesting. And Mr. Sebastian,
Yeah,
um,
I'm sorry, are you asking a question to Mr. Sebastian or are you just bringing him up?
oh, I'm bringing him up. My apologies.
Okay, no worries.
But Mr. Sebastian claimed that you are a pillar of the community. What exactly do you do to help the community?
Um, I donate to charity here and there. I give 25 cents a day to the local African organization in Africa. Um, I try to attend church every other week. Um, that's pretty much it. I just give my advice here and there. That's pretty much how I help out my local community. I always give back the best way that I can.
All right. And do thank you so much. Do you where? I don't see him. I Nova, I don't care to send it to me. Um, and this community that you speak of, you know, are they aware of your gang affiliations?
What gang affiliations are you talking about, sir? Are you trying to accuse me of something?
I'm not. I'm not trying to accuse you of anything.
Okay,
But
well, I'm not sure with what you're talking about, sir.
um, these. Oh, oh, oh. Um, Tracking back just a bit. Do you have receipts of these transactions of you giving money back to your community and to Africa?
I was not aware that I needed to provide evidence or proof of what I do in my community to court today. So no, I do not have proof.
Interesting, very interesting. And so
hold on. I just pulled this from my case files. I am uploading into evidence. There we go. Hold it.
Oh, are you producing a new exhibit?
Yes, just the as soon as I can get it to post over, just the receipt for my client's donation to the charity.
All right. I will allow it. This should have been produced prior, but that's all right.
My apologies. There we are.
Oh, yeah, there we go. There's my proof.
No.
That's my evidence.
Okay, thank you. Doug Easterbrook. Who is Doug Easterbrook?
Well, my client likes to do his philanthropy through a separate alias because he, at heart, does not want to actually take recognition for the money and donations that he puts back into the community, which is why some other people of the community might not have technically recognized him as a pillar in the community because he wanted to help the community not gain affection through the things that he could do for them financially.
Do we have confirmation of that?
Confirmation of him being the alias?
Yes, that Doug Easterbrook is an alias of Raymond.
Well, the whole thing about it being an alias is it is the alias. There's not a legal documentation for an alias. You have the option when you do charitable donations to go under an anonymous name. It would be almost like signing into a hotel or motel under a alias. You don't have to provide a
Yes.
legal documentation. So no, I do not have an actual paper trail to link my client to this paperwork. Just the fact that I was the one representing my client in this transaction, so I knew
I
that they
see.
were connected as personal witness.
I see. Well, many times there are emails or other such correspondences that list somebody under the alias, but the email will be accessed by the legal name of the person, and we could use that to cross-reference and give identification and confirm that Easterbrook is an alias. Do you not have that currently?
I do not have that currently. I just had the receipts as proof of documentation for those.
Okay. Sorry, prosecution may continue.
Yes, and I did finally find that exhibit of Ramon. This is security footage from his gym, and everyone just take a look at the screen here for this exhibit. It is sending right now. Everybody, stop typing.
Okay.
Because it's about to send. So.
Yes, if we could have some order, if we could have some order in the court, please. Some patience.
All right, so if you'll look at the current exhibit, that is Mr. Raymond Joseph Park producing not only cocaine, but money laundering as well. Now, Raymond Joseph Park, I need you to confirm with me, is that you in that footage? And remember, you are under.
I'm sorry. Being the fact that you guys just brought in this evidence, I don't know. Can I ask the judge a question?
Yeah,
Is
I
this
was
really?
as his hold on as his legal representation. I was not provided with hardly any of this evidence leading into this proceeding. This is the first time that I'm seeing this as well.
This is the
I would
first time
also
you're
like
seeing
to
the
point
exhibit.
out that my client is also, and by proof through his promos, a hip hop artist, and everything that they see that he had posted that day was something that was as part of a
Objection,
sketch and
objection,
prop.
objection, objection.
On what
I'm pretty
what
sure
grounds?
the question was asked to the defendant and not his lawyer. I'm sure that he gets a rebuttal sooner or
But
later.
as his lawyer, I was pointing out that the evidence that was
It's
provided was
it's
not
called the
given to
privilege. It's
me.
called the privilege. All of this information was given to the jury, the judge, before all of this happened.
But I
This is
also have a
all in
privilege to
evidence.
that
All in
information
evidence,
as well.
ma'am,
So
ma'am.
this is yes. So I would like to note, I'm going to put this down as a note. You are concerned on the exhibit being produced after the other pieces of evidence were reviewed, correct? However, I would like to remind you that you had just released a new exhibit that was not shared with the jury or the other party until now. So I do think it is only fair for at least one piece of evidence each. If we're going to bring out new exhibits, I will allow it in this case, one on each side. I think that's
Your
only
Honor,
fair.
may I speak?
Yes.
The evidence in the beginning was in question with the firearm presented in case. It was the one that they had in custody. It was not a new, and the receipt was provided in response to a question asked by the
Yes.
prosecution. So that's
But
why it was not previously put into evidence, because it was not known to be a question that was going to be presented as far as the donations. We were here on the drug racketeering, cash, and everything else. So I
yes.
presented it when it was requested. because it had
Yes.
not been presented as a case beforehand. If so, I would have turned it in with any prior information as well.
Yes. However, the exhibit is still a new exhibit that was newly procured. This was also a new exhibit that was newly procured. So we
Okay,
will move
I'll
on.
take that.
We'll move on. Thank you.
Well, now I turn my question back to Mr. Raymond. Um, is this or is this not you in the security camera footage?
That is me, yes.
And do you have proof of you claiming that your wrestling persona is a rapper persona?
My whole entire wrestling persona, my story is all about a drug lord trying to make it out the hood. It's all fake. That wasn't even real money. What you guys saw there was all baby powder. It's not real cocaine. It's all an act for my gimmick. I'm a heel in social media wrestling, and it's all a part of the act.
But the drugs were tested in a lab, and they did come back positive that they were um, the actual materials used to make said drug. Um, and I mean, is that a lie under oath, Mr. Raymond?
I mean, you guys haven't shown me the test results, so you guys are probably lying right now.
How are we lying?
Like I said, I ain't seen no test.
Objection,
The, the,
argumentative.
the,
This line of questioning, it seems as if instead of answering uh, questions are being returned with other questions. Let us keep it to questions and answers exclusively. Thank you. Objection sustained.
I was answering his question. Yo,
Remote
Excuse me?
pronoun.
Excuse me?
Sorry, Your Honor. Sorry, Your Honor.
uh-oh.
That's all right. That's all right. But any more outbursts and disrespectful responses that are not authorized
I'm in this.
uh, will result in being held in contempt of court. Thank you.
Well, that was all I needed to ask Mr. Raymond. So he may step down.
All right. Um, will the prosecution call forth any more witnesses?
Um, whoops. I would like to call Mr. Jackson Drake um, back to the stand just for one singular question.
All right.
Hello.
Mr. Drake. So the truth and nothing but the truth. So help you God.
Swear to tell the truth and nothing but the truth, so help me God.
All right. Um, I did want to know. They the arresting officers did see you fling the scene of the trap house with two briefcases. Could you tell us what were in those briefcases?
I was taking sugar to the.
Objection, hold on. Objection, privilege. If they don't have that as evidence, that's between me and my client.
Sorry, what was the question that is being marked down as an objection?
He
So I
asked
could have
my
heard.
client that he was seen, which is automatically speculation because that means they don't have the evidence and proof, with two briefcases, and asked him what was in them. If they do not have it in evidence, they cannot, nor can my client, talk about what me and him know, client privilege on what was in those briefcases.
Objection sustained. Private property cannot be opened for examination unless it is put in as an exhibition.
All right, all right. No further questions for Mr. Drake. I would like to bring up another witness, um, Mr. Eric Blackwell. Mr. Eric Blackwell, if you would go up to the stand, please, and thank you. Mr. Blackwell, put your hand on the Bible and swear that you will tell the truth and nothing but the truth, so help you God.
White man Bible. You don't got a Quran, anything like that?
Yes,
Sir,
we do have a Quran. If you would like to swear on the Quran or the Torah or any other such religious text, we have that available.
Yeah, I like to do that one. That's more of my speed. I don't have African.
The Quran. The Quran is the one that my client is requesting. Please and thank
Okay.
you.
all right, all right. Well, could you swear on the Quran that you will tell the truth and nothing but the truth, so help you
Allah.
Allah?
Allah.
So, Mr. Blackwell, what is your affiliation with Mr. Raymond Joseph Park?
Well, he's a friend of mine. You know, we run in a wrestling group called the Gun Militia, um, and that's when we collabed and we had our what do you call it? Our friendship started.
And would you say Mr. Raymond is a pillar of his community?
Hell yeah.
And what exactly is it that you two would do inside of his gym?
Well, we'll pray and talk about and what our plans in life really about. You know what I'm saying? We just not a wrestling group. We're a family.
Why is my Discord glitching? Um, and did you know about Raymond's previous arrest?
Yeah, I just found that out.
You just found that out, even though you said you've known him for quite some time. You know, being in the gun militia, which was started prior to his arrest.
Sir, I said I just found that out.
All right, all right. Um, were you aware of the? Were you aware of the fallacious acts that he was participating in inside of his gym?
Fallacious? I don't think you can call that fallacious. He's a rapper and he's an activist.
Um, and something I also wanted to know is you know were were you um aware of these business dealings he had with Mr. Saint?
No,
All right, all right. Mr. Park, if you could please settle down. Um, Now, Mr. Blackwell, um, I would like to uh, show you something. This is the evidence once more from Exhibit A. If you'll look here. Damn, why y'all
Okay.
type so much? My apologies. Here we go. It should be right here. Oh my God, y'all type too much. Here we go. Somebody tags him in it before me. That's cool, but oh, my phone is
Well,
going so slow.
I don't see any evidence.
One moment. Mr. Leon Convict Jackson, I will have you ejected from my courtroom if you keep on with the outbursts and disrespectful gestures and statements. Thank you.
But here is the evidence, Mr. Blackwell.
Okay.
Now, would a pillar of the community produce these sorts of narcotics to sell back to his community?
Well, these look like props, and he shoot videos in the gym often. So
All right. No further questions.
Okay?
You may step down.
all right.
All right. Does the prosecution have any other witnesses?
I believe there's one more. My phone will stop freezing.
Okay.
Is he available? Okay. I would like to ask Mr. Chief Cannabis, to come to the stand, please, and thank you.
Yes, sir.
Now I need you to place your hand on this Bible and swear that you will tell the truth and nothing but the truth, so help you God.
I swear to tell nothing but the truth, tell the truth and nothing but the truth. So help me God.
All right, thank you. Now, Mr. Cannabis, the arresting officer said that they did see you help your brother flee the scene of the crime, um, which would make you an accomplice. But can you confirm where you were yesterday during the time your brother was apprehended?
I was at my lawyer's office when I and my brother were approached, or I saw my brother approached and saw him running from somebody in what could be a costume. The world is a crazy place today. Uh, I just knew that my brother was running. So I scooped up with the vehicle. He hopped in. We headed out. He got out after we were rammed a couple of times and got apprehended. And I headed so that I could start getting this legal representation because what was going on was, from my understanding, completely out of pocket and unprovoked. My brother was out for a walk. I was meeting him over at a different area past that area to go get something to eat. And next thing I know, he's coming up behind me and there's somebody chasing him. He looked kind of familiar, which is why I didn't think he was an officer. But I guess he was. But at the time, we didn't know that. He didn't announce himself. Uh, he just said freeze. I mean, anybody can yell freeze at somebody in an outfit and expect them to lay on the ground. You know, my brother didn't think that. So we headed out.
But you were in the car to help your brother flee when he fired at the pursuing officers.
Once again, I didn't help my brother flee because at the time, under my perception of the event that was going on, somebody who had not announced themselves, somebody who chased my brother, was after him, and we felt in fear of self-defense, and he fired a self-defense round that he was legally able to own at people that we thought were not who they were. That's just a misunderstanding of the situation because, like my brother had said on the stand under oath, he was on a job and he peeked around the corner because he saw a lot of cop cars, and we all know rubbernecking is a thing. Everybody looks where there's cop lights, and out of nowhere, he just starts getting chased because he looked around the corner. There was no explanation, no announcement. Like I, I don't know
Well,
about you, but
first of all,
that's just me.
you cannot fire a firearm in self-defense against an officer of the law.
Correct, but at the time, it was not perceived as an officer of the law, and the motion and the duress that was
How is that
situated
when
from
they
somebody
had
who
their
announced.
they did flash their police lights,
I can go
which would
buy a
make you
police
aware
light
that
bar and put it on my car right now for $125 and pull somebody over. It'd be a felony, but I could do it. There was no identification of officer. There was no identification of crime or the idea to commit a crime. There was no identification as to why my brother would have been a suspect. So it being held in an unprofessional and unlawful manner, I was inclined to believe that the police officer was not a police officer. It was a random person who could have been chasing my brother. So we acted in self-defense. That is my answer. That is my answer.
if the jury would turn their attention to the exhibit right now, this will prove, this video evidence will prove that, um, no one just says pull over now unless you are the police. And as you can see, they have their police lights on.
So you've never been to Florida, because I can hit 6 blocks with people with mega horns on their car and old rigs that they bought from police auctions that mess with people all day long.
That was not the question.
But it was my answer. You're talking as
Mr.
to the validity of that video, and I stated that that video would be irrelevant because the perception that we were under, and the fact that a lawful officer did not lawfully identify himself or explain why he wanted to detain my brother. You have to have articulable suspicion of a committed crime to place somebody or detain them under arrest, and you did not have them. So somebody who handled a lawful situation in an unlawful manner, I could not bring myself to believe that they were an actual officer. Everything else became
That
irrelevant to
is
me.
that is well, that would all be considered false because then your brother fled. He ran once pulled over and stopped, which would give them reason to apprehend him. They did
Gave my
ask
answer.
you to pull over. I think I've gotten what I wanted out of this questioning.
All right, we'll end that line of questioning there.
Um I would like to, if she is able to, give the give the microphone back to the lead prosecutor, Miss Nova Vibes.
All right.
Thank you, thank you. As of right now, I don't have any other questions for anybody. I'm not sure if you, Judge, if you have anything later on for Eric Blackwell. I know that we are charging him with some hate crimes as well. But I'm not sure if we're doing that later, if you'd like me to touch on that now.
I think just for the sake of the keeping the trial as germane to the same charges as we can, we will relegate that to a separate time.
No, that's perfectly fine. Whatever you would like to do. But for now, I guess we're going to hand it over to the defense with their
Okay.
questions, if they have any.
We do.
Okay, turning it over to the defense for your cross-examination.
All right. So first, I would like to call up to the stand Mrs. Nova Vibe.
Yes, hello.
How are you doing, Mrs. Nova Vibes? I would like to start my question with on the day of the inspection that led into the seizure of my client's property, was he presented at that time with a warrant?
No warrant was needed. When he did sign the contract to get the trap house built, there are terms in there that say that the person that built it, the GM, the person that paid for it, is able to stop by at any time if an email is sent 24 hours beforehand, which it was. They just were unprepared. They had excuses saying that somebody had turned off their Wi-Fi and they weren't aware of the situation. But yes, in the contract that he had signed, it does say that they are in terms to investigations or just any type of what would you call maintenance requirements or anything. The building has to be checked out every other month.
Correct. I understand that, but without proof of confirmation of that email, you sending it but not being confirmed with the client that day, you might have had a right to come in and do an inspection for normal routine and maintenance, but to go into any area that is locked is still deemed private property. So if you search,
I personally did not walk into any locked area. Actually, I went to the door and I claimed that I was there for the investigation. And Ramon decided to slam the door in my face. If we're being completely honest, I then took it upon myself to do what the contract states and to call the police to let me into the building, which they did. They then did, and we did our investigation.
Do we
okay,
Along
have
with your point of
and
stating
I
that they
would
didn't confirm that
understand.
email. Sir, I wasn't done. Thank you. You brought up a point that they didn't confirm the email with me. In the contract, it states that I need to send the email to them. It is not my fault that they don't check their notifications and or their emails for important announcements that are coming their way.
Okay, do we have on record here, do we have an exhibit with either the email or the contract or both?
Unless it was turned in before, nope. Because I don't
Okay.
have to give those away. But thank you.
Okay.
Well, I mean, proof is the burden of the prosecution, so you would have to prove that that was in the contract or confirmed or
Or
sent
I could just
email.
walk into the court of law and state that it is in the contract. If Ramon read his contract, he would have no problem obliging, right? We're here because
Okay.
they
It was
ran from the
in.
police and they're all arrested for the crimes that they've been doing. So if you want to ask me questions about that, go ahead. But unless those are the questions that you're
Well,
asking,
I
I'm
mean
good to step
that
down,
had
right?
the relevance that I mean, I guess if
Okay.
you don't want to answer any more questions, that's fine. Yeah, I didn't know that
You
the
called
witness
you
led
called
this.
me up here, sir. You're
I
the one
did call
asking the
up, and
question.
then you turned it around in a very argumentative way and took control of the spotlight, like you were the lawyer answering
Are
the
you
question.
upset
Okay.
because you're asking
Excuse me.
questions and I'm giving you
Excuse
a
me.
response?
Excuse me. Let's have a soft warning here. Uh, Attorney Mr. Bartholomew, correct? This
Great.
is getting to be very argumentative. So I am going to end this line of questioning here and ask you to divert into another avenue because currently we're having a back and forth, which is not the way it should be in the court of law, all right? You are asking
Correct.
questions and Ms. is giving answers, and that's all we're doing, okay?
Correct.
All right, thank you.
You may step down, Mrs. Nova Bobs.
Yep, thank you.
You're welcome. So the next thing that I would like to, or the next person that I would like to bring up to the stand is Mr. Nova Vibes. Are you available? Mr. Nico Vibes. I apologize.
I was about to say, who is
I
that?
apologize. You're correct. My apologies. It is full on my fault for that mix up. I do apologize. Mr. Nico Vibes. Let me correct myself in this court of law and correct my mistake. My question for you
So
is
let us strike from the record of Mr. Nova Vibes and let the record be shown. It is Mr. Nico Vibes that is being called to the stand.
Okay, yeah, I'm here. I had no idea.
okay. Mr. Nico Vibes. Did you have involvement with the apprehension of my clients and the interrogation?
Yes.
Okay. Would you say that line of questioning and interrogation was legal and nonviolent in its form towards my clients?
Mm, I don't recall. One more time?
Okay. Would you say that your line of questioning and interrogation towards my clients was legal and non-violent?
I actually don't remember that day in question. We did have a malfunction, so of our cameras and such, if that's what you're referring to. So
Well,
I'm
if
not
what,
actually sure what happened that day. But yeah.
okay, Your Honor, if that is the case, and what I'm hearing is that any evidence of the interrogation or questioning of my clients was not available and or destroyed, and nobody can recall the events from that day, that this be moved as a mistrial under the facts that any evidence that could possibly actually incriminate my clients through lines of interrogation, like any type of confession or anything else, was done illegally.
For the sake of this will not be. I don't see a full reason for this to be labeled as a mistrial as of currently.
Okay. The evidence that was provided to you for this court case does show, though, a Mr. Nico Vibes in an aggressive manner interrogating my client. Although he might not have been recording, the area that he was in was recording. And afterwards, my client sustained injury to his head. If you would like me to post that for
Yes,
everyone
I'd like
here,
to see the exhibit for
let
that.
me pull that up. So that is Mr. Nico Vibes sipping on a cup of coffee after slamming my client's head, and the head injury sustained by my client after that line of interrogation.
That I don't see proof. I don't see evidence. All I see is me drinking a nice cup of hot Joe. That's all I see. I don't see any evidence of me doing anything, actually.
Like we said, the cameras were
There,
malfunctioning during that time.
So you're saying
I'm
that you
We
looking
don't
do have
for.
proof of
remember?
the cameras
Hold
being
on.
out. We do have
Excuse
proof of
me?
the cameras being out as well if the judge would like to see those. There was no cameras at the time.
All right. If we don't have an exhibit and evidence of the injury being inflicted by Mr. Nico Vibes, then there's really,
Oh,
you know, we
hold
cannot.
on.
Okay.
This was the top part of that chat and
Okay.
video.
Okay, there seems to be some camera issues given these.
So seeing the first part of that clip, is that
Okay.
That don't even look like me. Compare
so
both of
you aren't
those
you
images and the
you you
footage.
you aren't Nigo Vibes, the GM, the Reaper? That's not you,
No, that's not my legal name.
but it's your alias.
Oh, I'm sorry. What was that?
But it's your alias, your wrestling persona.
Incorrect.
Okay,
All
then I
right.
misspoke.
This will be investigated in terms of mistreatment during the investigation, but we will allow for the trial to continue.
Okay, that was it for Mr. Nico Vibes, Your Honor.
Okay. Would you like to bring another witness to the stand?
Yes, Mr. Aries, if he is available. Oh, he is typing it. If he's not going to be available on chat, I can. I guess I can move on from that. I mean, it was kind of a key point, but is it okay if he types and I talk out of character?
Yeah.
The questions for him are short. I promise.
Yeah, no, it's no worries. Continue.
Okay. All right, Mr. Aries. With your connection in with Mr. Nico and Nova Vibes, Mr. and Mrs. Nico and Nova Vibes. Sorry on the correction once again. I witnessed and had photographed evidence firsthand of brutality against my clients while incarcerated. And with this line is where I would push that through this brutality and constant violent acts accosted to my clients, that this would be considered harassment and maybe an ulterior motive behind why this stuff, and push towards the evidence not being true and or planted. But Mr. Aries, did you yesterday assault my clients, Ramon and Mr. Sebastian Saint, with Mr. Owen Stevens with a super kick to the face? So you're saying no, that you did not, as a sworn in witness. Okay. So now I would like to point where there's going to be a couple of these, but Mr. Aries and his accomplice, on the same day that everything was going down, entered my client's cells and attacked and beat them with excessive force. Sir, I took those pictures firsthand Firsthand, I took those pictures.
Okay.
Okay, well, if he is refusing to admit to firsthand proof and evidence, then that is it for my line of questioning for him.
All right. Do you have another witness that you would like to call to the stand?
I do not.
Okay. Is there anybody else on your defense team?
I am the only one on the defense team.
Okay. It seems one of your defendants. Sorry, out of character, Jackie. Who specifically are you? Because aren't you on the? Okay, so you're a witness. Okay, but we
Yes.
would have needed prosecution to bring you to the stand, or Bartholomew if the defense wanted to bring you to the stand, but it doesn't sound like they do.
Oh, well, never
So,
mind.
well,
Ma'am, I don't know if I'm allowed, but I'd like to talk to the arresting officer. I'm not sure if I can backtrack or not. But since the defense is clearly done with only 3 little witnesses.
in the
It proved the
niche.
point that I needed it to prove, so that I was
Sir,
done with it.
no one was talking to you. You didn't swear any of these people in and think that you got something good. Please hush.
Oh,
But my question still stands. If I'm allowed to talk to the arresting officer, if not, we can keep going.
given that this sort of appears to be a non-standard trial, what with new exhibits showing up and things like that, I think we will allow you to backtrack and give an examination of the arresting officer.
Dang. Dead.
And for the record, if the defense would also like to backtrack and procure another witness, they are also allowed to do so.
No, the defense didn't call the arresting officer because the actions from the prosecution side had already been stated from what his point of view was. So I felt it unnecessary to re-ask the same questions to get the same answers that would have been asked and answered on a lot of questions that I would have had. So I just didn't call him
Okay.
up to the stand. Was
Oh,
the
that's no
reasoning
worries.
behind it.
I meant in general, not specifically
But no,
the
no,
officer.
the main thing that I wanted to point out was the police brutality and the fact that that harassment and physical violence towards my clients through their incarceration was proof that this might have been an ulterior motive with planted evidence. That was the whole argument. So I just needed to explain.
Okay. Miss Nova?
All right. Officer Jackson Mahoney, would you be able to come to the stand?
Yes, yes.
Can you please put your hand on the Bible and swear that everything you say is the truth, nothing but the truth?
I swear that everything I say is the truth and nothing but the truth, so help me God.
Okay, thank you. So can you just give us like a quick little rundown on what happened yesterday and why you were called to the trap house and why you were there?
I was called there to issue a warrant of arrest for Mr. Raymond Joseph Park on the grounds of fallacious acts and uh, just a lot of other laundry list of crimes that the caller was suspicious of going on inside of the gym or trap house of Mr. Raymond.
Okay, thank you, thank you. And today we kind of heard that there was a little excessive force used per se. Can you tell us about that and if there was any excessive force used to anybody?
There was no excessive force used, at least not by any of my arresting officers. We used the force necessary to apprehend the perps and the suspects. Um, uh, they were fleeing from the crime scene. Um, we just wanted to ask them some questions and wondering if they were in association with Mr. Raymond. And I would like to present, this is the warrant for the arrest of Mr. Raymond Joseph Park that I had signed.
Thank you for that. Thank you for that. One last question. Can you let us know exactly what you found in the trap house and what your reasoning and the whole point of your arrests were? What did you find? What happened?
Well, we found lots of narcotics such as cocaine, crystal meth, methamphetamine, and marijuana. And while it is legal to sell marijuana with a proper license, one, their license was out of date, and two, the amount of marijuana that they had was illegal. And as we all know, cocaine and meth do fall under narcotics and are, in fact, illegal to sell and produce. And the reason why we had the warrant for his arrest is because we had been notified of reports of him selling narcotics previously, and we were conducting an investigation upon Mr. Raymond Joseph Park.
Thank you, Mr. Officer Jackson. I hope you have a great rest of your day. And I had one last question for you. Do you believe everything that occurred yesterday was in a fair and just manner by your department?
Yes, I do. We conduct everything in a fair and just manner and uphold the law and in the proper and respectful way.
Thank you for that. I hope you have a great rest of your day and you can step down.
Thank you. Thank you.
All right, is there any more evidence that needs to be presented or any other arguments that need to be made?
Not at this time. The other witness that I was going to call isn't here, unfortunately. So that is upsetting, but I'm good.
Okay. Okay, that is
No further witnesses for the defense.
no further witnesses for the defense. All right. Well, then it is now time for the closing argument. We will have the defense give the closing statement first, and then the prosecution give the closing statement second.
All right. Jury, in closing, I would like to state that regardless of any validity that the law might have held beforehand in obtaining and arresting my clients, went straight out the window when excessive force and injury was used without actual footage to show interrogation and or questioning. There was no recording of any type of confession or any link because that video footage and audio footage did not exist from quote unquote a malfunction. This entire situation was handled in the most heinous of ways that did not uphold to the law, that injured my clients, that harassed my clients, and clearly showed an ulterior motive that while my clients are claiming and hold true and honest to the fact that there were no drugs on that location, that those drugs that were seized by the police officers was planted. And seeing as there is no evidence to prove otherwise, then it should be stated that they do not have the grounds to stand on. And this should be a clear-cut case of seeing the innocence of me or my clients. Thank you.
Thank you. And now for the prosecution's closing argument.
Yes, thank you. So I feel like we all sat here today and watched the downfall of all of the delinquents' careers, if we're being completely honest. All of the witnesses did state under sworn in under sworn in testimonies that we have all watched what happened. People fled from the scene. There was no excuses. The people that did testify that they did not, they had no excuse on why they actually ran from the scene, as we all saw. We talked to the arresting officer, which stated that no excessive force was used at all. We've seen video proof, and we have written down evidence that our cameras were out during interrogation. You don't need to confess to be arrested. Our officer wasn't able to identify himself, unfortunately, and that is on us. But I don't think that they should be getting away with everything that they've been doing for the past 6 months, even longer, if we're being completely honest. We have to take a very hard look at the community that we are trying to create here and know that we can't let these people get away with the things that they've been getting away with just because they believe that they are above the rules, above what SMW stands for. So running from the scene, lying on the stand today was, I feel like, a grave mistake on their part. I feel like the jury saw all the way through them, as you should. So our goal here today, and what I hope from the jury today, is that you took a very hard listen and a hard look and weren't just picking favorites, and will make SMW what it was supposed to be, something great, and not just let drug dealers, drug lords, pimps, whatever you'd like to call them, just walk around and do whatever they like. But thank you.
Okay, thank you. Please allow a moment for the jury to confer together.
So we will be polling the following people into the after show fallout to be the jury and decide what the outcome of today was. So if you hear your name, please go over to there and we'll get you all set. DJ, Kid Ray, Raiden Wilson, and Zero. Can you all please go to the after show fallout and become our jury? Actually, yeah, that's it. Yep, thank you. Hey, Kid Ray, did you hear me? Can you go to after show fallout? If not, actually, nah, Kid Ray, go. Razor, you go. Razor, you go. Kid Ray's not listening. Razor, you go. Let Penny know you over there.
What's up?
Who said that? Be quiet. We're deliberating.
Noah told me I can talk.
No, told him to speak.
Oh, okay.
Okay, the jury has spoken. We've made our verdict. In the case of Raymond Joseph Park, we, the jury, find the defendant guilty on all accounts of prostitution, selling drugs, gang violence, drug possession, and criminal conspiracy to commit a crime. Raymond Joseph Park, you are sentenced to losing your title match and being suspended for a week and a subsequent fine of $25,000. In the case of Sebastian Saint, we, the jury, find the defendant guilty in
Nah, fuck out of here. No, 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 no. We are not doing that.
Excuse me?
Bro, y'all
Excuse me?
juries, y'all biased as fuck. I don't give a fuck what y'all say.
Okay. Sir, I will hold you in contempt of court as well. if you would prefer that also to be added to your charges. Okay. Moving on, Sebastian Saint, we find the defendant guilty in aiding and abetting in a crime, in firing a weapon at an officer, and we find the defendant not guilty on the account of selling marijuana without a license. We find the defendant Sebastian Saint not guilty on the account of criminal conspiracy. We find Sebastian Saint not guilty on the account of having an illegal firearm. Thank you. In the case of the defendant Jackson Drake, we, the jury, find the defendant guilty on the account of possession of illegal drugs and aiding and abetting in a crime. We find the defendant not guilty on the grounds of criminal conspiracy and not guilty on grounds of assault on an officer. For Sebastian Saint and Jackson Drake, we will be sentencing them to similar fines of $15,000 each and the removal of a title match for both. Thank you. Okay. Moving on, it appears there's another trial, correct, for one Eric Blackwell?
Yes, we will be having another trial. You can let the defendants that just got their sentencing's done, have a little moment to talk if they'd like about their actions and what happened today.
Okay. I would love to hear some reckoning and perhaps a promise to do better. That would be appropriate at this time. Mr. Park, you seemed like you wanted to talk a lot during this trial. I'm giving you the opportunity to talk now.
I'd just like to say thank you, Judge. Thank you for your fair treatment today.
Of course. All right. Well, if the defendants do not wish to give any closing statements, then this court is dismissed. All right. Thank you. Okay. Now, if I could receive some documentation of the next court case with Mr. Eric Blackwell, I'd really appreciate that.
All right. Give us a moment to gather the evidence.
If we could please have order, just order in the court, please. I'm hearing some dissent. If I could have everybody be respectful. I'm sorry. Who wanted to give a closing statement? Yes, Jackson Drake. I did call your name.
Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't hear you. Um,
That's all right.
I just want to say, everything's gonna be all right. We gonna bounce back 10 times stronger, and we gonna be better. Everything's okay. That's it. That's all I wanted to say.
Okay, thank you very much for your words.
All right, Judge. The evidence was sent in to you currently. So I believe you may start.
I need to know what charges. I wasn't given any
Oh,
charges.
oh,
And I do want
on
to
the charge.
clarify for the last trial, just so that we understand that uh, Raymond Joseph Park was guilty on all accounts of the charges I listed, not on all charges. Uh, Raymond Joseph Park was found not guilty in possession of an illegal weapon and not guilty in violated probation, since there was not enough evidence to rectify that. Thank you.
But he was what was his punishment? Sorry, I was having technical difficulties.
Oh, for Raymond Joseph Park, it is the loss of a title match. It is suspension for a week and a $25,000 fine. Please, Mr. Park, I am going to say one more time, I will eject you from the courtroom if you continue to act out of, just please behave yourself. Thank you.
Sorry, I actually literally didn't actually hear the sentence, but it was music to my ears.
All right. So yes, I just need a list of the charges for the next trial. I need to know who the defense attorney is, unless he will be representing himself, and I need the prosecution, which I'm assuming will be um, the Vibes team.
Uh, Bartholomew will also be representing Eric Blackwell in this case.
Oh, okay, okay.
Judge Pepier, I did send you the charges.
Okay, thank you. All right. So this trial, do we have everybody that needs to be here for this trial? Okay. This case may not technically be a criminal case, but rather more of a settlement or a dispute due to the nature of what the defendant has experienced or what the prosecution has experienced. So due to that being a little bit iffy, we will just say for the lack of it's just a little bit difficult to fully define this type of case. So for now, we will be trying it somewhat adjacent to a criminal case, but there will be slight differences. This is more of a civil case, though. Yes. But for the sake of brevity, we'll make it similar to a criminal case. Also, I didn't have enough time to fully structure everything like a civil case. So, all right, in the case of Mr. Blackwell versus who is the prosecution? Is that just SMW fully, or is there a specific party being represented? SMW community. All right, so for Eric Blackwell versus the SMW community, Eric Blackwell is being charged with inciting violence through criminal threats in the form of hate speech and other such hate crimes. Okay, specifically Shin and Darius. All right. So the burden of proof is on the prosecution, so we will have the prosecution begin first with their opening statement.
Thank you. And hello, everybody. Welcome to our second trial of the day. This one's gonna be more short and sweet and simple. We're just here today to get more structure in SMW and prove that hate speech and freedom of speech are two completely and separate things. And that hate speech shouldn't be done here in SMW, and that there should be repercussions for the way that people have been acting around here lately and the things that they've been saying and hiding it in this little persona that they'd like to call it.
Okay, thank you. Now, if the defense would give their opening statement.
Yes, thank you, Your Honor. Although the comments in question are by social standards to be spoken out loud egregious, they are, unless citing physical violence or acting physically on that opinion or inciting violence due to the statement made, are still technically covered under the First Amendment and the freedom of speech. Is this case a fight and argument to state that it is right and wrong? Not in my opinion, just the validity that until he physically acts and harms a member of whatever community he is voicing his personal opinion about, sociably acceptably or not, he did not commit a hate crime. They are allowed to be offended, and I do not think that there should be zero repercussion. But as far as a criminal suit and or anything outside of a personal settlement, I do not see where this would push out from that First Amendment clause. But that is my opening statement.
Okay, thank you for the opening statement. Just a reminder for everybody on the basis of hate speech. Some forms of hate speech fall under the protected speech of the First Amendment right. However, not all of it, and a lot of hate speech is considered unprotected speech under the First Amendment right, based upon whether or not this is inciting violence, and that is what we're going to be disputing today. Thank you. So we will have the prosecution bring up their witnesses to the stand or give any other aspects of evidence, exhibits, etc. Again, a little differently because this isn't fully a criminal case.
Okay, thank you. My first witness is actually going to be Darius Cruz. If he can step up to the stand for me.
Yes, I can.
Okay, thank you. I just had a few questions for you. For one, can you put your hand on the Bible and swear that everything you say is going to be the truth and nothing but the truth?
Yep. Wait, can you say
Okay,
it again
thank
for me?
you. Yes, just swear that everything you say is going to be the truth and nothing but the truth.
I swear everything I'm about to say is gonna be truth and nothing but the truth.
Okay, thank you. Is it true that you identify as a man?
Yes.
Okay, thank you for that. And is it true, last on Friday you fought Eric Blackwell?
Yes.
And is it true at said press conference he referred to you as a female?
Yes, it is.
Okay, thank you. And he stepped in the ring with you, correct?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. That's all that I needed.
Thanks.
You can step down.
Okay. Do you have any other?
And then he's not here, but I was gonna call Shin, unfortunately. But Eric Blackwell, can you please step up to the stand?
Yes.
And can you put your hand on the Bible and say that everything you say today is gonna be the truth and nothing but the truth?
The Quran. But yeah.
Yes, we have a Quran.
Okay, thank you. I have a few questions for you today. Is it true that you've been going around and I don't want to say pretending. Let's say this. What types of background in languages do you have, sir? What languages are you fluent in?
Okay. Yes, ma'am. I am fluent in Japanese,
Oh God,
Chinese, Spanish, English,
bro,
and
please.
some of the African language. You may call it Banin. Yes.
And do you have
Okay,
proof that you know any of these languages or that you passed any certified courses that state that you know these languages fluently?
Well, you can look at my diplomas, ma'am.
Oh my
Okay.
God.
And also, hold on, wait a minute now. Also, I was an MMA fighter, so my coaches speak in them languages, so I had to adapt. They
Okay.
taught me the languages.
Okay.
Thank you.
So would
Just
that be a no
again.
to my question? Yes or no? Let's keep it short and simple. Yes or no? Do you have certification that states that you passed courses in these languages?
Yes.
Can we see that
Okay.
proof? Did you turn the proof into the judge today?
No, but
No,
I can
I was
speak
not.
if you want me to.
Oh God.
We can
Okay. Well,
we
that's
can do
needed.
this in a
Thank you.
non-traditional way. I
Also,
actually
is
have
it
been.
true
Excuse
that
me.
you go around stating
Okay.
that you pimp out hoes through SMW?
Well, how this hate speech, man? I mean, I
It's just
thought
a
we were talking
question.
about
It's
hate
just a
speech.
question. Please and thank you.
Yeah, objection, relevance. This is about the hate speech.
Objection sustained. I'm
There is
sorry.
relevance, my honor.
Could you give me the grounds of relevance? I just need proof of relevance. How is it relevant?
Yes, the so-called women that he has around help him in these endeavors to try to get information on these people, such as their languages, to try to then make fun of them.
Okay, for that objection is overruled.
Objection to
Thank you.
speculation on the other. There's no confirmed evidence that these women were used in that manner.
Objection
That's why if you let
sustained.
the question go, we would know.
Okay, actually, yes. The speculation should be on the side of the witness, actually. So objection overruled again.
Thank you, thank you. So, Mr. Blackwell, is it true that you pimp out hoes through SMW?
No, ma'am.
No, and you swore on the Bible, correct?
The Quran.
Okay, Judge, I will be sending some evidence here. Just give me one moment.
Okay, thank you. And in order to verify your ability to speak in these multiple languages, I happen to know some of those languages, and I will be verifying it myself with you.
Okay.
If everybody will turn their attention to the evidence on the screen, it will show that Eric Blackwell is lying and perjuring himself under whatever he swore on, but he is perjuring himself as of this moment.
Oh.
So
okay.
no further questions from me. I just want to put it on the record that he is perjuring himself under the law.
Okay, thank you.
Not
Mr.
true.
Blackwell,
Yes, ma'am.
so if you could you tell me which languages it is you speak again?
Yes, ma'am. I speak some Japanese. You want to hear
Okay,
Japanese, ma'am?
okay, continue.
Well,
More.
okay.
Which languages? So Japanese, what else?
That's right. Chinese
Okay,
and some
which
Spanish.
Chinese, Mandarin or Cantonese?
Mandarin.
Mandarin, okay.
That's
Okay,
right.
you said Spanish.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, what else?
And a little bit of the African descent of I think Nigerian
Which
because I'm half
Nigerian language? There's multiple
because I,
Nigerian languages. I actually know
yes,
a
ma'am.
couple of them. Which one?
Swahili.
Swahili is not a Nigerian language.
Well,
But are you
that's what they
saying
were
that you
taught to
speak
me,
Swahili?
ma'am.
Okay. All right, let's verify with some Japanese. I'll be very, very, very basic here. Konnichiwa. O genki desu ka?
Oh, you know,
Okay. Okay. Let's. All right. Oh. What was that supposed to be, by the way? Was that supposed to be Japanese?
it was hello and thank you.
Oh no, that was not hello and thank you, actually. Um, all right. So
I'm not
move
too
on.
well. Okay, here we go.
Let's move on to Mandarin. Ni hao ma.
Okay.
Continue.
Ni mo yen.
Okay, and what was that supposed to be?
How you doing, ma'am?
That is not how you say that. Okay. All right, let's move on. Let's go towards Spanish. Okay. Hola, ¿cómo estás?
Excuse me. Shino, the day.
That is that what was that? Was that supposed to be Spanish?
And you know what that's called? It's called. Would you like a haircut, ma'am?
Uh-huh.
Ma'am, Your Honor, I don't mean to interrupt anything that's
Of
going on here
course.
today. But I just would like to further this trial even faster. I'm sure everybody here has seen all the evidence that they need to see on Blackwell
Yes.
today.
Yes, I was going to end it there. I was going to end it there. So, uh, You have not verified that you speak any of the languages that you've claimed you speak.
Well, ma'am, to be completely honest, I don't know if you really know the languages yourself.
I've just verified by speaking each of the languages.
Well, ma'am, I don't know if you are have the certifications of the languages.
Sir, sir, you are the
Yes,
one that
ma'am.
is on trial and not myself. I'm letting you know that I know the languages and I have that verified. So let's continue. Are there any more questions for any other members, any other witnesses on the end of the prosecution? If not, we're going to move to the defense.
I'd actually like to call a couple other people up, if that's okay with you. The first
Okay.
one being, can I get Razor up to the stand, please?
All right.
Hi, yes,
Hi, yes. Can you put your hand on this Bible and swear that everything you say today will be the truth and nothing but the truth?
I swear.
Okay, thank you, thank you, thank you. Um, so at the time of after press conference fallout, on Friday night, do you remember the Blackwell versus Darius press fallout?
See, I do.
Yes, yes, you do. Thank you. Can you kind of give us a brief rundown in your words what happened?
I believe that well, not believe. I heard for myself that Mr. Blackwell did call Mr. Darius Cruz a transsexual.
Thank you, thank you. And then also, I know you be reading around every now and then. Did you perhaps watch the video that Eric Blackwell put out to Shin Cosma this week?
Yes, I did.
And in your words, could you kind of describe that video and what was going on in that video?
I believe that was a misuse, or he misused the Chinese language to mock or to provoke the likes of Mr. Shin Cosmo.
Thank you, thank you. Okay, that's all that I needed from you. I hope you have a great rest of your day. You can step down.
You too.
I'd like two other people. Deshaun Walker, if you could walk up to the stand, please.
Yes, I'm here.
Thank you. And could you put your hand on this Bible and swear that everything you say today will be the truth and nothing but the truth?
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you. Along with the same questions that I asked Razor today, did you see the video that Blackwell put out to Shin Cosma of his promo this week?
Yes, I did, ma'am.
Okay, and in your words, what did the video entail? What was the video about?
Him trying to provoke Mr. Shin Cosma by trying to be offensive, trying to speak his language when he was, if I can speak for everybody, he was speaking a bunch of gibberish, probably trying to be funny, but it was not funny at all.
Thank you. And in this video, did he speak any sort of English or any of his language that he speaks on the regular in the fallouts?
No, he did not.
No. Okay. And were you here on the after show fallout on Friday night?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And can you kind of give us a rundown on what happened with the Eric Blackwell and Darius Cruz situation?
Mr. Blackwell called Dare. He said that he does not fuck transsexuals to Mr. Darius Cruz. Those were his exact words.
Thank you. Thank you. All right. You can step down and I hope you have a great rest of your day.
Too.
Thank you. My last person that I'd like to call up, Mr. Sebastian Saint. Would you be able to step up here, please?
Yes, I'm available.
Thank you. I'm glad you could make your way back up here for today. Will you please put your hand on this Bible and swear that everything you say today will be the truth and nothing but the truth?
I swear everything I say today will be the truth and nothing but the truth.
Thank you. I know you weren't here during the after show fallout on Friday, unfortunately, due to other circumstances. But I do have a question. Did you perhaps see a video posted by Eric Blackwell for Empire promos against Shin Cosma this week?
I do not recall.
You don't recall.
Do not recall, ma'am.
Okay, give me 1 second. So if we turn our attention to the evidence screen, is this not you, Mr. Sebastian Saint, saying this is beyond funny?
That
Is
could.
it yes or no? Is it or is it not saying that this is beyond funny?
I guess so.
So you guess so, but you just said that you didn't see the video.
Well, no, I said I do not recall.
You don't recall, but now you recall saying that said video of him being racist was beyond funny, and that having a lawsuit emailed to him in his home was beyond funny.
As I say, some days have passed. I really don't recall how I was feeling on that day.
That's very fortunate for you, Mr. Sebastian. But thank you for your time. You can step down. That'll be all my witnesses for today. Thank you.
Okay. Sorry. To Mr. Darius Cruz, this statement that you have made should have been sent in a motion to me on behalf of the prosecution, or on your behalf from the prosecution. And it is also unlawful to request a jurisdiction or other such type of ruling, because that cannot be arranged beforehand. Thank you. All right, so I suppose will we move over to the defense, or?
Actually, I had just one more thing that I
Okay.
wanted to ask Mr. Blackwell. So if that is allowed, and if that little kid would please be quiet, I would like to bring Mr. Blackwell back up to the stand, please, and thank you.
Yes, that's all right.
All right, Mr. Blackwell, step up. Do you swear on this Quran that you will tell the truth and nothing but the truth? So help you Allah.
Yes, sir.
Now I would like to ask you: did you read the rules of SMW?
Yes.
Oh, so if you did, then what is the first rule? Can you please tell me what the first rule is here in SMW?
I don't have it on me, sir.
Oh well, I do. That is very unfortunate for you, but I do have
That's
it here, and
wonderful. That's wonderful.
I'm going to present it to the courtroom right now for everyone to see. As you can see here, this rule from the general manager states anyone being homophobic, misogynistic, racist, or bullying in general will be banned. And it seems here that you have very much been homophobic, misogynistic, and racist. That is all I needed to know. You may step down. Thank you.
All right. Shall we move over to the defense, or is there anything else the prosecution would like to say?
That is all from me, Your Honor.
All right. I would like to have witnesses to keep their side comments to themselves. Mr. Cruz, if you could please do so. Let's move over to the defense.
The defense would like to call Mr. Blackwell up to the stand.
Yes, sir.
Mr. Blackwell, is it true that you are a professional wrestler for SMW signed by contract?
Yes, sir.
Okay. In your promotional videos, being portrayed as a character, not arguing to the right or wrong of the statements, did you as a person believe in those opinions or thoughts? As in, when you said those, were you speaking as your in persona character, or is that how you truly feel as a person?
In persona.
Okay, so what you're saying is, okay, my bad, because that would be leading. Let me rephrase this. If you were corrected and didn't make those types of promos, could you deal with that? Could you go to a new avenue of promotional materials? And since you don't believe those things as the person that you are, not the persona, would you have a problem with moving away from
Objection.
it?
These rules pertain to
Yes,
in
sir.
character and out of character. Um, and so I don't see how this is relevant.
So is it objection relevance that you're giving?
Yes.
Okay, please make
The
sure you state on what grounds the objection is occurring. The second you say objection, otherwise I won't know what you're objecting for.
My apologies, Your Honor.
Yes, no
the
worries.
relevance is the connection between out of character to in character. If the out of character person, when speaking, does not say things like this, and he only speaks in character like this, then they are two separate individuals. So the
Due to the
relevant,
rules, due to the rules applying to both in and out of character, the objection is sustained.
no further questions, Your Honor.
All right, thank you.
The next witness I would like to call up to the stand is Deshaun Walker.
Mr. Deshaun Walker?
Hello? Yes.
Yes, Mr. Deshaun.
Mr. Walker. Would you place your hand on the Bible and be sworn?
Yes, I will.
Promise to tell the truth, nothing but the truth, so help you God.
Promise to tell the truth, whole truth, so help me God.
Okay. In your earlier statement, my client's promotional video, you had made the statement that you felt that he was trying to be funny, but he just didn't pull it off. So what you're saying by that statement is you felt that he didn't actually have an ill intention, but fell short of the comedic timing that he thought he was pulling off.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
Okay. So at possible, would you say that Mr. Blackwell might be trying to portray something that he's not in a way that he thinks is funny and just doesn't understand the recipient of that persona?
Can agree to that. Yes.
Okay, that's all the questions that I have. The
Okay,
defense
so
has no further witnesses.
okay, no further witnesses. All right, we will just hurry along into the closing statements then. First, the prosecution.
Thank you, thank you. So today I think we all kind of understood that Blackwell has crossed a lot of lines. Um, from the SMW community, we heard from 3 separate witnesses. One says that he doesn't recall, but we've seen the proof there that he does recall and that he just doesn't want to answer. So if he wants to perjure himself, that's okay too. We saw Blackwell perjure himself on the stand today, claiming that he knows languages he clearly does not know when the judge asked him basic, simple terminology for the languages that he was supposedly supposed to know. We saw evidence where he said that he was pimping out hoes and that they could come find him for one of them. And then we also saw evidence today of other people being in the voice chat, in the after show press, admitting to being homophobic towards Darius Cruz, who is in fact identifying as a man. So, but thank you for your time, everybody, and I hope you all come to the correct decision on what should be done with Eric Blackwell today.
Okay, thank you for your statement. Let's move on to the defense.
In closing statement, I would like the jury to recognize that this might just need to be a change in character, and that the Eric Blackwell outside of SMW does not share the same beliefs as his persona, and this might just be a miscommunication of somebody, although be it very dark and unacceptable humor, was just that. It was just a misunderstanding and just needs to be corrected.
All right, is that the end of your statement?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. All right. I will have a conference with since this isn't a criminal case, this is more of a civil situation. I'm going to confer with the alleged victim of the events and with the people making the rules on SMW, because I feel like a jury is not, since this is a civil case, I don't think a jury is what we need right now. Okay. All right. If I could have Darius Cruz join me into After Show Fallout, and if I could have Miss Nova also.
She just wanted Darius, right? I couldn't really hear her.
She
No,
said you
she was
too,
there
Nova.
too. Yeah, you too.
Me too? Okay.
I mean, bro's super guilty. I mean, we saw everything. We heard him speak fluent Japanese and stuff. So
Okay. Just waiting for everyone to return. All right, that's everybody. So the jury has made our, well, I guess not jury, but we've made a settlement. So in the case of Mr. Eric Blackwell versus SMW, we have ruled, Mr. Blackwell, that they're due to the Mr. Erickson Bartholomew Blackwell III, we have ruled that due to the explicit violation and injurious behavior, we are calling for a loss of the championship title that is being revoked. We are calling for a week's suspension, and we are requesting that there be no contact due to the antagonistic nature of the conversations between you and Mr. Darius Cruz and Mr. Shin Kazuma. As well, and this is very serious, and I mean this in character and out of character, if this happens again, you personally, you, sir, are kicked from the server fully. Okay. Thank you. That's the jurisdiction that's been made. Yeah. Mr. Darius Cruz, what would you like to say?
I do like to say thank you, Your Honor. He has caused me so much trauma.
Yeah, no problem. Okay. All right, is court dismissed, or is there anything else? Would you like to say something, Mr. Blackwell? You're kind of quiet.
No, you got it.
Okay. All right. Thank you. I think court's
Case closed.
I think the case is closed. I think court is dismissed. Are we good?
All right. Court is dismissed.
All right. Okay.